Hey, my name is Marcus, and I am not a polyglot, but I have tried to learn a lot of languages. I've succeeded at some and failed at others. With this experience, I am hoping to distill down the methods that do work and the methods that don't work. So today, I'm going to share with you 3 habits that I learned in my journey that actually boosted my fluency in my target languages. The first habit is always be chatting, or ABC. And I know what some of you are thinking. I'm shy, I'm an introvert, I can't do that, I don't want to speak out loud right away when I'm learning my language. I don't care. This habit works for everybody because it happens mostly through text message on language learning apps, language exchange apps like Tandem or HelloTalk. So what I recommend you do is you download one of these apps, and don't worry about if you think you're ready or not to have a conversation or anything. Just set your profile to say, I'm only interested in texting. This way you have time to process everything that you're receiving, and you have time to think about what you're writing back to them. You don't have to worry about being fluent right away. You can just go right into it. And what you'll find is that you're gonna make genuine friends that wanna keep in contact with you, and they're gonna like you for you, and they're gonna constantly be texting you, and what you're going to pick up is real, genuine phrases and words that real native speakers use in the language. It's a good deal for everybody. And another sub tip for this is that you can also ask your new friend if they want to just speak to you in your target language, and then you can just respond in English. That way you're picking up all of the things that they say, but you're under no pressure to output perfect Italian, Spanish, or Chinese, or whatever. And that actually brings up another point. I get it. This method only works if you know how to write in the language, so this method might not apply to you until you get to that point where you can write. But once you can write in the language, this is a way of just building the language into your life, which I highly recommend. This way you're getting constant reinforcement of real life examples of how the language is actually being used. So what do I mean by 15 plus 15 is greater than 30? Well, a lot of people, when they start to learn a language, they make a schedule out of it and they say, okay, for 30 minutes or whatever amount of time of day, I'm going to dedicate to this language, and you do it 1 time per day. However, what I think is more valuable is splitting up that 30 minutes a day into 2 15-minute segments. One in the morning before you have your real life responsibilities, before your work day starts, before whatever your responsibility starts, and then 1 15-minute segment before you go to bed. Neuroscientifically speaking, they say that your memory is most active in the morning and evening anyway, so this is beneficial for you in multiple ways. This coincides with the principle of spaced repetition anyway. I'm pretty sure if you found your way here, you're already familiar with spaced repetition, so I won't go into detail about what that is, but think about it. Getting 2 repetitions of everything in every day as opposed to 1 extended exposure per day, definitely beneficial for your language learning. Get into the habit of waking up, getting going for 15 minutes a day, not worrying about it, and then picking it up again 15 minutes in the evening. Habit number 3 has easily been the most life-changing mental shift that I have made. Habit 3 is to forgive yourself. I think as adults in the language learning world, we tend to beat ourselves down with every single mistake, and we do this every single time we do something that is just ever so slightly wrong, even for things that don't really matter. We pronounce a word wrong and we go, oh, I must be terrible at this. I must have been wasting my time for the past 4 months. Oh, I forget a word. Oh, I must be the stupidest person on the planet because I couldn't remember that very simple word. You have to stop doing that. You have to forgive yourself for that, because if you think about it, you make mistakes in your native language all the time. I forget English words all the time. So why don't you extend yourself that lenience when you're trying to practice in your target language too? You have to forgive yourself for those little mistakes, little irrelevant mistakes. If you continue to beat yourself down and focus on the negative instead of the progress that you're making, your brain isn't gonna like the activities that you're doing to learn a language. And eventually, the worst thing will happen. You'll quit altogether. Instead, you make a mistake, say, haha, look at me, I messed up, and then you move on. And it's for that reason that I'm still learning languages today, despite all the mistakes and embarrassing moments that I've had in my journey. And that's it. Those are 3 habits that have changed my life of language learning. Okay, but really, those 3 habits have boosted my fluency, but most importantly, they simultaneously helped me fall in love with language learning and helped me persevere through the hard times more than anything else. That's why I think they're such important habits to pick up. I hope they help. Bye.
In questi giorni che sei stato a Roma non hai parlato con altre persone italiane?
Sì, ma solo con interazioni brevi, come ordinare caffè o gelato e cose così.
Ok, non hai mai avuto una conversazione come quella che stiamo avendo noi?
Dico, prendo una coppetta con caffè e pistacchio, è tutto.